Okay, I'll go for the legal entity MRF, which is the one that we are using for the demonstration. So the things that we have discussed yesterday under header level, line level, and journal level are for your practice. So I have explained how that works, and you have to see or do some transactions and find out how that particular menu items do work when you enable a flag or disable a flag, or when you go for a choice of vouchers in the journal names. So we can see it here in the journal ledger setup, sorry, journal setup and journal names. It takes a while to load initially. So under journal names, we have created two journal names actually. So we have seen these menu items yesterday, how this works and all. So out of this, I told you the most important or this one, the workflow, if at all the workflow is used, and the private for user group in case if they have or if they group some users into a single group, and if they give that group here, so this journal will be available or accessible only for that set of users in that group. Okay, regarding users and user groups, we have discussed it in the previous session where we discussed about ledger calendar. So you can refer that what is users and user group. Then we were left with only these two things that to discuss about these two things: journal control and posting restrictions. We'll see that part today. So firstly, I'll go for demonstrating this journal control within the journal name. So if I click on journal control, I can see few things here. So I can control the users from using the accounts for this journal. Suppose if I can add the kind of accounts here. Here I can select all the ledger accounts, which means users can use all the ledger accounts. So I can also say this means for all the companies actually, because I can post intercompany journals also. That's okay. Here I can specify either I can use all the ledger accounts only, either I can use only customer accounts, only vendor accounts, or I can also add like I can use only ledger accounts and vendor accounts. I cannot use customer accounts and fixed asset accounts or post any other transactions other than these two type of accounts using this particular journal because I have given a journal control here. So if at all I gave journal control, I might use only ledger accounts, or I can use only ledger accounts or vendor accounts. Other than this, I cannot use customer accounts, fixed asset, banks and all. Mostly none of them will give journal controls for their journals because they don't restrict journals to a particular category of accounts only. Okay, they will mostly use all kinds of accounts as per their necessity. In case for vendor payment journals, mostly they will use vendor, ledger and bank because they often use the same. So they will always use to pay the vendors using vendor payment journal, and they pay it through either bank or ledger. Ledger means bridging account or cash account, anything. When it comes to bank, they will use bank account. You will create bank accounts in our next module, cash and bank management. So either they will use bank account for the payment of money, or they will use other ledger account like cash account or petty cash account. So for that case, you can give controls for the journal, like you can only use vendor account, bank account and ledger accounts. So you can use only any of these account types. Other than that, customer account, fixed asset accounts, you can't use in vendor payment journal. Suppose if I give conditions like this. So you can always give these conditions or you can ignore, no problem. Not compulsory that you have to definitely give these conditions and all. Okay. So as I told you, in business, not most of them will use this journal control conditions. Definitely not. But there is an option so that you can use. So other than accounts, I have this one, If at all I'm not using accounts, I can see this one getting enabled, which is segment values valid for this journal. So I can actually journal name must be specified. So I selected here field journal name must be specified. Unsure. Let me check this one. First, let me add one. Okay. Now let me add this. Okay, it's allowing me. So here I can give segment values, like I can select the account structure like profit and loss account structure or balance sheet account structure, one of them. I can select this profit and loss account structure, for example. Here I can select the segment. Segment means this main account or cost center, department or location, anything. Suppose for if I select main account, I can say that only certain main accounts can be used in this using this through this journal. I can say like value starting from this account to this account, or if I say 4 series to I would say like from 4 lakhs to 5 lakhs. So whatever the accounts that are there in between 4 lakhs to 5 lakhs, that accounts only can be used for posting transactions in this by using this particular journal, revenue journal. So because revenue accounts are all 4 series, right? So anyway, if I have to use cash account, I cannot use it again. So that's a restriction. So again, I can use fixed dimension values or any compulsory dimension values. Suppose if I go for location here, by using this journal, I can always use Hyderabad location only. From and to also I'll give both Hyderabad only. So I can only use Hyderabad location whenever I create this journal. Suppose if I give the same here in the default dimensions, it can be override. It can be overrideable, or you can change it anytime. So I'll show you here. It we have in the default financial dimensions. If I give the same location value here like Hyderabad, it will automatically take for every transaction whenever you create any transaction using this journal. But it can be changed at any level. You can at the header level or at the line level in the journal, you can always change this one. But however, if I give the same here in the journal control level, it cannot be changed or it cannot be manually edited. So go for revenue. We have given it here. So user cannot override this one. So this will automatically be taken, or if not, user have to select the same. For this particular journal, whenever you create any transaction using this journal, the location value will be always Hyderabad, or you have to select always Hyderabad because you gave a journal control here. So that's the use of these journal controls. As I told you, there are many other ways to control the accounts and the financial dimensions to be used. Other than this, we have account structure advanced rules. So that mechanism is enough, or that much is enough. So no one will go for specific journal specifications like individual accounts for journals. Not most of them will use, but there is option. You can understand this one. I'm removing this. And I'll also remove this. That's about journal control. We'll discuss this one. This is important actually, posting restrictions for journals. So what is posting restrictions and how do we use posting restrictions? We can see. So here actually you can determine whether specific users or user groups can post only journals that they create. So posting restrictions can be set here. Whenever I give any posting restrictions here, users whoever creates the journals, they only can post their journals. So you can see this one here. You can specify restrictions for each journal name so that user can post only journals that they create. So how do you want to set up posting restrictions? Suppose if I say by user, what happens is I have to select the user. I have to select few users, like I'll select this user, and this user. So only these 3 users will create journals and they can only post. Whoever is there in this, so they only can post the created journals. What if they create this, if admin create a journal, admin only can post that journal. So in that manner, I can give my posting restrictions. Whoever creates that journal, they only can post the journal. Whereas I can also select by user group in case I can select a group of users. So whoever creates in this group, this group of users are allowed to post that journals. So if there are 10 people or 10 users in this group who logs in with different mail IDs and creates transactions, so all those 10 users will have access to open those transactions and post those transactions. So posting restrictions are entirely related to who can post the transactions. Okay. If I say no posting restrictions, there won't be any posting restrictions. Anybody can post the created journals. So any user can create a journal and any other user can open and post that journal. So that's with posting restrictions. Suppose if I say by user means whoever creates it have to post it. Or if I say only admin can post it means whoever might create, admin only will post it. Okay, or else I would say like these three users are allowed to post it, which means whoever might create these three users will post them. No other people, no other person or user can post them. Only these three people have permissions to post those journals. Whichever journals that are created by using this journal name, only these three users can post. Mostly. In the same way here by group, if I say group, only these 10 users within this group can post the journals. So like in that manner, I can give posting restrictions. Suppose if I give no posting restrictions, there won't be any posting restrictions. Anybody can post them. So that's how we can restrict our users from posting journals. Not most of them will also you restrict their users. Actually, whoever create will be given a permission to post them. But they you can also use this option. You can restrict the postings to some of the senior people only, one or two people. So yeah, if there are 10 users in a department who uses this journal and create transactions on daily basis, they'll just create and save them. So there will be one or two reviewers who will go review and post them. So those two people I can give this by user option and I can enable this for only those two people. So those two are only can go and post the journals. So all the journals that were created, they'll go and check them. And if they file they are fine, they'll post it. If they don't feel they are fine, they'll again revert back to the user saying that you have created a journal which is wrong. Please change something in this, and they later once after correction again they will post it. In that way I can control the postings of journals or give user permissions to post the journals to few users only. So for now I'm taking off these restrictions because I don't want to restrict. So I'll just keep it as okay. So this is the same with every journal you create here. Regardless of the journal type you select, the journal control posting restrictions and all the menu details within this journal all are same. So may you create vendor payment journal or customer payment journal or invoice journal, anything. We'll do that again actually in the later part of our course. If you create any journal, the menu details are same here in here. Okay. So that is all with this menu items, header level, line level, and journal level. So if you have any doubts, you can put on, or we will discuss about one new topic today, which is called periodic journals. We'll discuss about this for today. Okay, let me know guys if you have any doubts until this one topics. Okay, if you do practice anytime, if you get any doubts or any error messages, you can just send me in Skype or WhatsApp, or you can ask in the next day's class, no problem. In interviews, they might come up with this question: posting restrictions. What do you know about posting restrictions? Or Fine then, if you don't have any doubts, I'll take your silence as no. We'll discuss about periodic journals. So anybody have any idea what is a periodic journal? So we have seen normal journals which we posted, created manually and posted them. That the same way users can create as many journals as they want and post in business on daily basis. Coming to periodic journal, there is a specification for periodic journals, or here is a unique way to create, or the concept of periodic journals have a unique subject. So does anybody have any idea about what is periodic journals?
Recurring journals, journal
Okay.
which is repetitive in nature.
Periodic journals are also called as recurring journals actually. So I can say like periodic journals. What do you mean by recurring? Anybody?
Something happening on a periodic way. I mean, it is coming to the same meaning.
Repetitive.
Repeated way. It's like rent or like any interest payment, something like which happens like on recurring way.
Something that is occurring on recurring basis or
Yeah.
on periodic or regularly.
Yeah, regular.
So what kind of journals we usually have in business that we post regularly, or any idea about any transaction that we post regularly?
I mean depreciation
Rent.
or interest payment.
Okay, depreciation is one, but depreciation doesn't fall into this example actually.
Okay. I mean interest payment or rent payment. It could be anything.
Sales and purchases.
So sales and purchases are daily transactions. Every day we'll post them. So they don't have specific time. So every day you record purchases and sales. So I'll give you an example. Rent expenses. Suppose I took lease, or I am a tenant now, or have borrowed two buildings of I'm using them. So I have to pay rent for those buildings on periodic basis, like monthly I have to pay. I have two buildings to pay, so 50,000 for each building. So totally 1 lakh rent expenses I have to pay every month. So every month by 5th I'll pay them. So 5th of every month is my date to pay the rent expenses. So this month I'll pay 1 lakh on 5th of this month. Again next month I have to pay. Again the coming month, following month, every month I have to pay rent, right? So I am running my business in this building, and that goes on a continuous basis as long as I change the building. So that's a periodic journal, or that's a recurring journal. Every month at the same date almost I have to pay the amount, or at least every month, not maybe not on the same day, but at least on every month I have to pay the expenses, rent expenses. In the same way I have interest expenses. Suppose if I owe somebody some loan and I have to pay interest like EMI to any bank, so that's on daily basis, or that's on periodic basis. Every month by specific date I'll pay the EMI, or bank will cut the money from my bank account by a specific date. So we will record an entry for the same, or an accounting and transaction for the same. So these kind of transactions which occur on regular basis, may be daily or weekly or monthly or yearly, can be termed as periodic journals or recurring journals. Occur. I can say like periodic basis, like monthly, yearly. So I can say in this way: weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. In this way, in this pattern. Okay, you can also stem it as daily actually. You can give daily also, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So on a particular pattern. So as I said, in the rent expenses example, I'll pay it every month. So it will be monthly rent. Whereas it comes to As interest expenses, it is also monthly, or any other expenses I might pay fortnight, like for 15 days, or each quarterly I'll pay some expenses like my insurance premium I'll pay quarterly, insurance expenses. So it all depends on the expense on the period behind that, or the pattern behind that particular expense. So to term periodic journals, as they are also called as recurring journals, so the journals that occur on periodic basis in business are called as periodic journals. So period can vary according to the nature of the expense or the situation. So now let us see how in Dynamics we can configure periodic journals and how the periodic journals mechanism work, how we can retrieve the same journals on monthly basis. The same journals, right? How we can retrieve them on a monthly basis, we will see that. Okay. So for that, actually, I have to create a journal name for periodic journal. So journal name will be here, right? In journal ledger, journal setup, journal names. I have to create a journal name. So I'll click here. It will take me to the same page. Actually, I just showed the navigation. So I'll create a journal name here called as NIF. I'll create it as periodic. Here, give the description as periodic journal. Okay, journal type is most important. It is periodic. I can see here periodic. Previously, these two journals we have created as daily journals. I gave daily, or by default it will take daily. But here I am changing it to periodic. Okay, so I'm creating the journal name as periodic, gave this description as periodic journal, and gave the journal type as periodic. Can also, or else I can change it as periodic journal, but taking all name, it tab character restriction. It takes only 10 characters here in this box. That's okay, let it be like that. So then we have a compulsory field to fill here. What is that? Anybody? Can anybody say what we have to compulsorily fill in
Voucher
this?
series.
Exactly. We have to give the voucher series. We can see this in red mark, which means it is compulsory to be filled in. So in order to fill this voucher series, I can right click on this arrow mark, which is pointing downwards, or right click with my mouse, and I can see this view details part. If I click on view details, it will take me to that particular page of number sequences where I can create a number sequence. I'll click on if. Can somebody guide me through this? How to create a number sequence?
Yeah.
Okay, go. Let's go. So I gave this name. So what next?
Next.
Scope will be company.
Scope company.
Scope should be company code.
Okay, company.
Then MRF.
Company name as MRF. Okay. The segments.
We can or have value MRF we can have, or we can just remove it.
Okay, we can use this. If I use this, this will be in this format. Vouchers will be. If at all I don't want my company name in my periodic journal vouchers, I can remove my company name. I can add a constant name here like periodic. Or I can write periodic journal.
And we can reduce alphanumeric also to 6 or whatever, so that to ensure that it will not cross to 20 years.
21. We can reduce the alphanumeric. I reduced it to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, now this will be the voucher format. Periodic journal, 6 digit 000001.
Right.
Okay. Here also I'll reduce the largest number to 6 digits. Okay. Since I am using 6 digits, the smallest number starts from 1 and largest number will be 9,99,999, which is of 6 digits. So the next number to come is 1 because we did not use it yet, right? So next number will automatically taken as 1. I'm giving it as continuous because I want the numbers to be taken on a continuous basis. So I'll save this. Then I'll copy the same name from here, number sequence code. I'll close this form and I'll go back to the same journal page where I have created the journal, and I can give the same name here, or else you can also search in the drop down So it will show up in drop down. If I search, it will show all the names, number sequences that are already in the system. So we have created one unique number sequence for this journal, right? So we'll use the same voucher series here. So that's all about creating journal. The important thing you have to remember is this one, giving the journal type as periodic. Okay, now I have created this journal already. So now let us use this journal and create a periodic journal. Okay, I'll just duplicate this tab for that. So to create a periodic journal, I have to navigate to General Ledger again here, and I have two areas where I can create periodic journals actually. So I have one here under journal entries. I have periodic journals, journal entries, periodic journals, or periodic tasks, periodic journals. If you use, you can use both the navigations. It will take you to the same page. Okay.
Any
Either
reason why there are like it is given in two places actually?
there are reasons. So it depends on user permissions. Okay. Some users might be given permissions to journal entries, but they can't post periodic journals or create periodic journals. Okay, some people can be given permissions to periodic tasks where they can access periodic journals and all, but not journal entries. So if at all this is in this menu, then they have to give access to all this menu. If at all this is in this menu, if everything is in this menu, then they have to give access to this menu. So that is why for balancing the user permissions or managing that, they have given it in two places. That's all. Okay. Anywhere if you click, it will take you to the same page. Only very few options are like that in multiple menus. Only very few, not many of them. So one of them is this periodic journals. So either you can go to this journal entries menu on periodic journals or periodic tasks and periodic journals. So if you write down the navigation, I'll just take you to that page. I'll click here on periodic journals. If I click here, and it takes a while to load actually, since it's the first transaction we are doing today. Okay, it's an empty form here. We don't have any created yet. We will create one now. Okay, I'll just go for new here. I can see the journal batch number and I can see the journal name here. The journal name we have created, periodic journal, right? We have given the journal type as periodic because it will show up in this page, in the periodic journals page. So if at all you give it, you see we have other two journals also, journal and revenue journal, which are having journal type as daily, but you can't see them here because they are only for a specific place, like for journals or in some areas in cash and bank, but you can't use the same here. For this area, you have created a separate journal called periodic journal, right? So you will use the same. Okay, you can change this description. I'll change this description as rent monthly. Okay. So this is header level. So I have given the journal name and given the description here. Now I can go for lines and create some lines in the journal. Okay. See, you don't see any post option here. Within the lines also you don't see any post option because you can't post a journal from here from periodic journals. You can only create and save the template, and you can use that template by retrieving it in the general journals, which is the next step that we will see here. Okay. So once I create the line, I don't see any voucher. So no voucher will get reflected because this is a periodic journal. We'll normally give the periodic journal voucher series, but that will not take voucher series here. But there is a situation where it takes. I'll show you that as well. Okay, don't worry. So now we have to give the account. So for paying rent expenses, what is the entry? Can anybody say what is the entry for rent expenses?
Rent account deduct to cash.
Okay, rent expense will be debited cash account or bank account will be credited. Thank you for the response. So I'll select the rent expense account here. So my rent expense account is with some number. It's 5 lakhs now on account number. I'll select it. So rent for location, I can select I'm paying rent for Hyderabad location. Okay, for Hyderabad location rent is $50,000. Suppose $50,000, and I am using this offset account as cash account. Cash account, Hyderabad location. It automatically takes, or you can change it if you want to. So this part, okay. So it's more quite similarly. The voucher construction is same like the journal. You can see the date actually. You can also change the date backwards. Suppose or front, any from anywhere you have to start the journal, you can change it. So I'll start this journal from 1st of June. Okay. 1st of June, I'll post the rent transactions for 1st of June, 1st of July, and 1st of August. I'll show you how it works. Okay, that is why I'm taking the backward date. I'm starting this journal from 1st of June. I assume that we are on 1st of June and we are creating this journal for the same. Okay. So I can give a description here, unique description like rent expenses Hyderabad, or I can leave it empty, no problem. Not compulsory. It's a maintainable field.
జేపీ
So, yeah, శశి చెప్పు.
సారీ కొంచెం సిగ్నల్ బ్రేక్ అయింది. ఒకసారి పీరియాడిక్ జర్నల్ క్రియేషన్ దగ్గర నుంచి చెప్పా.
క్రియేషన్ దగ్గర నుంచి
అంటే దీనికి ముందు అయింది కదా.
దీనికి ముందు ఏం చేయలేదు, మనం నావిగేట్ చేసాం అంతే.
అదే నావిగేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత
we navigated and we created a journal here by clicking on new. Okay. I just created a journal, gave this journal name periodic. I can only see one journal here, whatever because I gave journal type as periodic for that journal, right? So I can see only that journal here to select. Okay, so I'll click new again and I can show you. See, I can see only one journal.
Okay, fine.
Then I gave this description. Okay, I'm deleting this one. So then I went to lines and I created this line. Selected the date as 1st of June. Okay, I'll come from 1st of June to post the transaction starting from 1st of June. Okay. Selected rent expense account in the account place and selected Hyderabad location. So I'll just give the description as Hyderabad. Okay. Then 50,000 rent expense is debited. Cash account is credited for 50,000. Okay. Then currency is US dollar only. It is our accounting currency of this legal entity. So let it be the same. Then here I can see what you have to select here. You can see either you want to select days or months or years. Suppose if I select days and if I select one means, which explains like it is for every day or the recurrence is for every day. Suppose if I select days and if I select 7 means recurrence is for anybody?
Every 7 days.
Every 7 days.
Every 7 days, which means every week.
Every week.
If I select 15 means for every 15 days or for what we call fortnight.
Fortnight.
For every 15 days, it's a recurrence. So I can also select monthly and I can select number of units as 1 for every month. Okay, for every month it posts or it gets posted. So give me a second. One second. Okay, then I can select the last date. I mean, you don't need to select the last date actually. So last date will automatically show up once we post this journal. Whenever it was posted lastly, that date will show up here actually. So if I post the journal on 1st of June, the same date will show up here as the last posted date. So I'm leaving it empty for now. We will see that will automatically show up. We'll see how it will show up. I'll also create another line here. for the same rent, but this time I'll create it for another location. So I'll select the same rent account of 5 lakhs, but I select the location as Bangalore. So I can select Bangalore here. Okay. Then I'll give something like $75,000. So because rent is way more in Bangalore compared to Hyderabad. So I'll select cash account here. Okay. And for this also I'll give the same months and unit type is 1. So for every month I want this. I can also give quarterly. How can I give quarterly? I can give months and 3 here. So then
Three units.
it will be quarterly. If at all I have to give it half yearly, months and 6. For every 6 months, the recurrence will appear. If at all I want to give yearly, I can give years and 1 or years and 2 or 3, anything. But years and 2 or 3 is way long. So generally it is months and 1 I gave here for rent. So okay, I'm using only for these 2 locations. Okay, I'm paying rent for Hyderabad location and Bangalore location. I'm using this as an example. So I'll save this here. So this is created. I don't have any sales tax applied for this, so I don't have anything to see in this sales tax. I can also go and see financial dimensions, but this is applicable only when I use vendor account or customer account, fixed asset account, any other subledger accounts other than ledger accounts. But in 2 places I use ledger only, right? I can directly give my financial dimensions here in this place only. Okay, so there is no issue. So this is how we create a periodic journal. So now we created this journal. Later now we will see how we can use this journal or how we can retrieve the same journal every month and how we can post it. It will not get posted automatically. We have to do it manually. So I'll show you how we can retrieve the same every month and post this. Okay. So is it clear until here, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, once,
Shiva.
సార్ ఈ ఒక్కసారి ఇక్కడ ఆఫ్ సైడ్ అకౌంట్
Offset
ఇక్కడ
account.
నుంచి కొంచెం చెప్పరా సార్?
Okay. So offset account, normal account and offset account are same. From journal ఎలా ఇస్తాం అలానే ఇస్తాం. ఇక్కడ కరెన్సీ US డాలర్ ఆటోమేటిక్ గా తీసుకుంటుంది because it is our accounting currency. If you want to do a foreign currency transaction or periodic foreign currency transaction, you can change the currency. Otherwise, there is no point of changing it. Let it be US dollar. Okay. So since I am paying rent, so my recurrence pattern should be month and every month, once in every month. Okay, for every month, one time the recurrence should appear. So that's why I'm selecting month here, and I select a number of units as 1. Okay. So in case if I want it on daily basis, I can select days and 1, or a weekly basis, days and 7.
Sir, if you miss in a month, where the recovery?
Good question. If I miss posting rent in this particular month, and if I run it for the next month, then the previous month transactions will also automatically be taken.
How?
Okay, I'll show you how. I'll show you how it works. The next discussion is about the same, how to use the retrieve the journal. Okay, so I'll save this until here. So now let's see the part of how we can use this periodic journal that we have created. So you don't have any option of posting it here in periodic journals. It is just a template you will create and save it. That's all. You can anytime come and modify it if you want to. But before we modify it, let's see how we can use this. So for that, I am going to general journals once again. So in general ledger, under journal entries to general journals, which is the most common area path, where we post the transactions. So here I am going. I'll create a normal journal. So or else I can use one of the existing journals. So I have this one, right? I'll go for this one. I'll go to lines. Before I'll just change the description. Okay. I'll just change the description as rent June. Okay. Then I'll go for lines again. So within this journal, I can see one line which was an empty voucher. I don't have anything yet. So here, without adding that rent lines, I can retrieve that template that I have created in periodic journals. So for that, not this one. I think I have. So here I have this one, period journal. So here I have this option. I'll just remove this line which is there previously. Now it's empty. Okay, now it's empty. Then I can go for period journal, which is here. You can see this option in the journal, period journal. Here I have this option called retrieve journal. We also have another option called save journal. We'll see that later. So you can use this option called retrieve journal. Okay. If you click on retrieve journal, it will ask you few questions. To which date you want to retrieve this? You can say you want to retrieve this for 1st of June, since the starting date is 1st of June, right? So first I'll do it for 1st of June. Later I'll do gradually for every month again. Okay. So it is again asking me from date for lines without a date. So I'll select it also 1st of June only for now. I'll explain you what this means. Then I'll go for periodic journal number. We have only one journal, right? Rent monthly. We have created only one. So we can see that one only in the list here. I can see the templates here, the periodic journal templates, how many ever we have, we can see here. So I have only created one, rent monthly, so I can select that one. Then I have selected dates, selected the journal. Then here I have the option of copy or move. Copy means it will copy the journal lines from there, from the periodic journal, and it will bring here. And again, I can see the same lines there in the periodic journal. If I select move means it will entirely move the journal from there to here. The lines will be moved, and again I can't see the lines in the periodic journal. Okay, that in that way this copy and move works. So if it is the final retrieving or final month of paying your rent or any other expense, you can directly move it rather than copying it. But since we have to use it going further, I'll just copy it. Okay, I'm not moving it. So now I've selected these dates, the same date, 1st of June. Selected the journal that we have created, periodic journal, and I'm just copying it rather than moving it. Okay, I'll just click on OK here. See, if I click on OK, you see in this journal automatically that periodic journal lines are brought up. So it took a unique voucher number, as well it took this date for 6th, 1st of sorry, what is it? It took this date as 1st of January, sorry, 1st June 2021, but it is taking temporary voucher. Actually, yesterday I think we have created that journal after enabling the temporary voucher part, so it is taking the same temporary voucher. That's okay. It will be posted with a new voucher. Don't worry about that. So date is selected as 1st of June. I can see the ledger account. I can see the same rent accounts, rent account plus Hyderabad location, rent account plus Bangalore location, the same description we have entered, the same amounts we have entered, the same offset account we have entered, cash account plus Hyderabad and Bangalore. Everything is brought up on the same currency as well. So I can see the entire journal is copied here for the 1st of June. So if at all I have to pay rent for 1st of June, I'll do it the same way. I'll go for periodic journals, copy that rent journal, so that lines will appear here. I will check them if there is anything missing, and I'll validate it to find if there are any error messages. If there are no errors, I can post it directly. So it is saying something, an exchange rate cannot be found for exchange rate type MRF currency and euro for the exchange rate 1st June 2021. Okay. All of you can see this error message, right? Can anybody have any suggestions for me how I can clear this error message?
We have to go to the date and we have to fix the
Manually, we
exchange
can
rate.
give the exchange rate for that date.
Okay, if you want me to give manually, let me see if I can give manually here. See, I don't have the option of giving manual exchange rate because I am using US dollar only for transaction. But that exchange rate is for our accounting currency versus reporting currency. That you can't give it here.
We have to create exchange rate type actually as.
The date we can change it.
We already have created exchange rate type.
But for that particular date, there is no exchange rate between those currencies.
Exactly. On or before that particular date, we don't have an
Yes.
active exchange rate between US dollar and euro. Okay, maybe for later dates we have created, but for on or before that date, we don't have any
Yeah.
exchange rate. That is why system is unable to read any exchange rate between US dollar and euro. So for the people who wondering about why is euro
Yes.
here, for this company we have two currencies, one accounting currency and one reporting
Putting
currency.
currency here.
So every time we do transactions, if it will posted in US dollar as well as euro. In order to be posted in euro, you should have exchange rate between US dollar and euro for that particular date, for whichever date we are doing a transaction. So for that, yes, Bala.
Can we have an exchange rate type that goes on for 12 months and a year, like, or we have to just give this for every time?
Actually, we have to batch process that. We haven't given the condition at
See,
the time of creating.
we have created this legal entity on 14th or 15th of June. Okay, right? And exchange rate topic we discussed on somewhere on 20th or in that last week of June. So we might have created exchange rates for that particular dates, but for before dates we did not create any exchange rates, right? But we are doing a transaction today for 1st of June. So that is why we did not give any exchange rate previously. System is asking for an active exchange rate. So I'll show you the same here. I'm going to general ledger, currencies, exchange rates. Actually, I have here exchange rates, currency exchange rates. If I click on currency exchange rates, we have created exchange rate type already as MRF. In that I have the pair from euro to US dollar or US dollar to euro. I have somewhere here euro to US dollar. I can see here. See here euro to US dollar. What is the latest date you have? 20th of July is the last date. Sorry, not June. Previously I told June, but 20th of July is the last date, or the very first exchange rate is given on 20th of July. So before 20th of July, I don't have any exchange rate for this combination of currencies. So, but we are doing a transaction for a date which is before 20th of July. So that is why system is unable to recognize an exchange rate. So now we have to give an exchange rate for that particular date, so that system will take that exchange rate as effective rate. So I'll just click on add here. I'll select a date here as 1st of June. For 1st of June, I'll give an exchange rate as 1.50 or something, 1.1.5 US dollars for 1 euro. Okay, and I'll save it. Now, if I go here and close this error message again, I'll validate the same. So let us see what system will show up this time. So this time there is no error. It is saying journal is okay and journal is okay and ready to be posted. So clear how we clear that error message or resolve that issue.
Yes.
Okay. So in the same manner, whenever you get any issues, so by reading the error message, you have to understand which functionality will guide or control this error. We have to go to that particular place and clear the same in that way. So it is most useful in support job role.
So
now,
anything which is relating to currency or exchange rates, we have to ensure that on that particular date, an exchange rate has been created.
so we should have, I mean, if at all we are doing transaction, you should have that exchange rate between that currencies. If at all I'm using a foreign currency also here rather than US dollar, so I should ensure that there is an exchange rate between that currency and US dollar and that currency and euro, that foreign currency and euro, and also from US dollar to euro. I should ensure I have all the exchange rates configured for that particular date. Okay. There is no inquiry. You have to go back here into the exchange rates and have to check it. That's all. fine enough. This journal is good to be posted, and I'll post this. For the 1st of June, I'm posting a rent transaction. The total amount is 50,000 for Hyderabad location, 75,000 for Bangalore location, a total of 1,25,000. So same, you can see it is posted 50,000 and 75,000. Both of them are posted. So this journal is posted. I can see the voucher. So both of them are posted in the same voucher number actually. Voucher number 13. So I can see both of them in voucher number 13. Rent expenses is debited 50,000 and 75,000 separately by tagging Hyderabad location as well as Bangalore location. Cash account is credited with the same 50,000 and 75,000 with Hyderabad location and Bangalore location. If I go this side, I can see the amount in reporting currency, which is euro. So 75,000 is converted as 50,000 because for every $1.5 US, for €1 we are getting $1.5 US, right? So $1.5 US is converted into €1 here. 75,000 is converted into 50,000 euros. 75,000 US to 50,000 euros. So both the amounts will be maintained in the database of the system, both in accounting currency US dollar as well as the reporting currency euro. Okay, here transaction currency we took US dollar only, right? If at all we took any foreign currency other than US dollar, we can see the third amount also here, other currency amount as well. But since we took US dollar only, we see same amounts here and here. This is for accounting currency, this is for transaction currency, this is for reporting currency. Alright guys, so this is how we can retrieve a periodic journal to post it on that particular date. In the same way, I can retrieve the same for 1st of July, 1st of August, and the same way. So I'll do it now. Any doubt until here? Seshu, yeah.
As you said, we can post it for the next following months as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in the month of August, we need to suspend for Bangalore location itself. Means we need to post for Hyderabad and we need to suspend only for Bangalore location.
Okay.
So
You can delete the line before posting it. That's all.
ఓకే అంటే ఇప్పుడు అక్కడ మనం సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకునేటప్పుడు ఇట్లా ఆప్షన్ ఆఫ్ చేసుకున్నాం అట్లా ఏముండదు
అలా ఏం లేదు. ఇక్కడ ఎన్ని లైన్స్ ఉంటే అన్ని ఇక్కడికి రిట్రీవ్ అవుతాయి. ఇన్ దట్ యూ కెన్ కీప్ నెసెసరీ లైన్స్ అండ్ డిలీట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ డోంట్ వాంట్.
ఓకే ఫైన్.
ఓకే, సో మోస్ట్లీ ఇలా 2 లైన్స్ ఉంటే మాన్యువల్గా క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు, కానీ యూజువల్గా చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. దేర్ ఆర్ సర్టన్ జర్నల్స్ లైక్ పేరోల్ జర్నల్స్ చాలా ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి. డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వైజ్ కానీ లేకపోతే ఎంప్లాయీ వైజ్ కానీ పేరోల్ జర్నల్ వేస్తే ఇట్ విల్ బి ఏ వెరీ బిగ్ జర్నల్. లైక్ 100 ఎంప్లాయీస్ ఉంటే 100 లైన్స్ వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది. మేబీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వైజ్ వేస్తే ఎన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ ఉంటే అన్ని డిపార్ట్మెంట్ వైజ్ లైన్స్ వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది పేరోల్ జర్నల్స్. ఇన్ దట్ కేస్ వాట్ దే విల్ డూ ఇస్ they will obviously bring that journal and they will change the amounts. You can also change this amount from 75 to 76 or 50 to 51 before you post it. Anything can be changed here. In the same way, they can delete any lines they don't want and they can change the amounts or they can change the financial dimensions. Anything you can do once after you retrieve the journal. It's up to you.
Okay, fine.
Then I'll try to retrieve it the same for rent of July and August at same time. Assume that I did not post the rent for June month or I did not retrieve the journal for June month and I forgot to do that or somehow I ignored to do that. I am paying the combined rent of both July and August in the same month of August. So since we have missed it for the July, did system retrieve the same for July as well as for August both at the same time? We will see that example. Okay, for that I'll create a new journal here. I'll select this journal.
Can you repeat the scenario, Jayaprakash, if you don't mind?
No problem. So I have posted rent for 1st of June. Okay, I forgot to post the rent for 1st of July or I ignored to post the rent for 1st of July. Okay, then I am posting it for the next month, like for August. So in that case, I missed already paying rent for July, right? System will also bring the lines of July as well automatically. So I have to pay the rent for July month as well as for August month. Since I have ignored paying it in the previous month, as I have to pay it because I have created a periodic journal where I have to pay it. So since I have to pay it, system will automatically bring those lines which I missed in the previous month also. So I'll show you that how it works. Before that, once we will go back to our periodic journal which we have created. So it's in general ledger. Under journal entries, I have periodic journals, or again under periodic tasks, I have periodic journals. Both are same. I'll click here on periodic journals. It will take me to the periodic journal which we have created earlier. I'll go for lines in that to show you something. So you can see the date here is changed to 1st of July. Why? Any idea?
We have
Last
given
date.
the units on per month.
And exactly, we have given units as month, and we have given number of units as 1. For that purpose, it since we have posted it for 1st of June, it is adding 1 month, and the next date will be changed as 1st of July, or the next date to which this journal has to be retrieved and posted is for 1st of July. So its system automatically shows up this 1st of July here. And coming to this one, last date, when was this journal last retrieved and posted? We last retrieved and posted on today's date, right? So it is showing today's date actually. It considers the system date whenever you have retrieved and posted the journal. So although you post it for the 1st of July, but you posted today only, right? So system will show up that date when I have last used this journal. So today only I used it, so it is showing today's date. Exactly. So any confusion in this dates here?
Yes. That retailing one is a little bit confusing.
This one.
Yeah.
So I posted the journal today, right? I mean, I retrieved the journal on today's date. Although I posted it for 1st of July, but I retrieved it today only. So it shows today's date only. In audit trail, it shows today's date only. So the same date will appear here. Okay. So its system date is 10th of August only today. So the same 10th of August is showing here. Okay. So again, if I retrieve it for the next month, so that I'll do in the same date only, right? So the date will be same here. If I do it tomorrow, then the date will change for tomorrow's date. So whenever I retrieve it, that retrieval date will be appearing here. That's all. Okay, just for the sake of record, it doesn't control anything here. Okay, then I'll go for this general journals. We have created this journal, right? So I'll go for lines. We'll carry with the same example. I am ignoring the rent for I'll remove this line for 1st of July, and I will retrieve it directly for 1st of August, and let's see what happens. Okay. So to retrieve the journal, what is the option to retrieve the periodic journal?
Period journal. Go to period journal.
Click on period journal and click on retrieve
Retrieve.
journal. Okay. Good. Thank you. Then I can select the date for which it has to be retrieved. So I have to retrieve it, or I want to retrieve it for 1st of August. So 1st of July, I did not pay it right previously. Now I'm bringing it for 1st of August. Okay, here from date for lines without a date. So which means like we have previously ignored July as well as August. So if at all I select August date here, like 1st of August, system will bring all the July transactions as well as the August transaction, July month rent as well as August month rent. Suppose if I say here only July, suppose here I gave the date as July, the transaction will be selected for 1st of August only, but only the July month rent, what all we ignored, the two lines like for Hyderabad and Bangalore, the two lines will appear for only for the July month, but that rent will be posted for 1st of August. Suppose if I select the same here as 1st of August, it will bring the both the lines, July lines as well as August lines. Okay, we will see this part by selecting both the dates as 1st of August only. I'll go for periodic journal. I'll select monthly journal here. I use the same option of copying the journal rather than moving it. Okay. So copy it, click on OK. So now I can see it here. I can see transaction for two dates, 1st of July, I have 2 transactions. 1st of August, I have 2 transactions. See here, we have ignored, right, this one. We did not post it. Assuming that we did not post it in the previous month of July, we retrieved it for the August month. For August month, we have 2 pending. We have to pay for the month of July as well as for the month of August. I see voucher number 14 and 15, so I can see 2 transactions. Both are for rent payment. Both are the same accounts, same descriptions, same balances, same offset accounts. Selected. That's all. If you want to change the amounts, you can change here. Seshu is asking previously, can I change or can I make any changes in this? You can make any changes. You can change these dimensions as well. You can change these numbers as well, debit or credit amounts as well. You can change anything. You can change it to 75 to 76. Assuming I'm paying 1000 more for maintenance charges, suppose. So that's how we can retrieve the ignored transactions or leftover transactions again. System will automatically bring them once we ignore them. So if you want to ignore it, you can delete it. Like Sheshu asked previously, what if I want to ignore for Bangalore? You can select this and you can delete this line. Only 3 lines will be there. Then you can post those 3 lines. So this is one way how we can create and use the periodic journals. So I can now validate this one to check if there are any errors like in the previous case. So I don't have any, and I can post it. And it is posted. The month rent for the month July, rent for the month August is posted or paid. Now I can go back. Actually I will go back to the periodic journal, same periodic journal. I am here in the periodic journal. I'll go for lines here to check the details. So here the next date is showing as what date it is showing? 1st of
September.
1st of September.
Why it is showing 1st of September?
We have already posted for August and July.
So July and August we have posted. So next is September only, right? So it is showing up the date as next payment should be on 1st of September. That's all. And we have posted it on the same date, right? Last time when we retrieved it is previously on today's date only, like few minutes back. So it is showing today's date only here, the last used date or last retrieved date. So that's how we can do it. So if you give me 2 more minutes, I'll quickly create one more journal and I'll show you the example of how to move the lines rather than copying them. Okay. So for that, I'll quickly create one more general journal here. Number 20, select journal, go for lines. I'll remove this line. So this time I'll pay rent for the month of September. Assume that we are on the date of September. Okay. I am paying the rent, or I will retrieve the journal, same journal here, retrieve journal option I have. So I'll click on retrieve journal. I'll select the date of payment as September 1st. Same this one also as September 1st. Period journal number, we only have one journal, right? Rent journal, I'll select it. Then I'll select this move other than copy. If I copy means the voucher lines will remain same in the periodic journal. But if I move means the entire journal will be moved, and this will be the very last time I am using this journal. From next month, I don't use this journal. So if it is that situation, then I'll move it. Rather than copying it, I'll move it. Okay, now I'm moving it. So I moved it here. Then since I have moved it already, I can go back here and I can refresh this page of periodic journals, and I can go for lines here. See, I don't have any lines. So this line is a dummy line. It's a new line which is not filled. That 2 lines are moved automatically. Now I no more have any lines in this periodic journal. So it is entirely moved. from next time, I don't have any lines to create or any lines to move. I don't see anything. So that's how this move option work. Now since I have moved it, I'll post it for 1st of September directly. From the next month to retrieve, I don't get anything because I don't have anything in the periodic journal lines because the lines disappeared. So moving means with the agenda that or with the situation that we don't use it once again or the recurrence will stop from until that date. That's all. Now going further, we are not retrieving that journal anymore or using that journal. So that's the situation. Okay, I'll also post the same. So clear this part, creating periodic journals, retrieving them, how we can retrieve the unposted journals from the previous month, how we can move them directly. We have seen all the scenarios. Do practice it until here. Let me know if you face any issues or if you face any, or if you have any further doubts, you can stay back and you can ask. Else we can drop off. Tomorrow we'll discuss about another topic. Actually, we have one called a save journal. We'll discuss that tomorrow additionally in the first 15 minutes. Later we will discuss about the other topic called as accrual journals or accrual schemes, what we call. That would be all, guys. So I'll just stop the record.